Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
As you see, we do have memberships on YouTube, all three channels. Heart's Home, yes, Heart's Home. If you look over here, this is Heart's Home. We do want to encourage everybody, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I think it's going to be a regular thing where most days there's going to be messages up on Heart's Home. So we're going to be sending a lot more videos up at Heart's Home. And then also, do check out evolutionaryenergyarts.com. I have a bunch of things I'm going to be adding to that too, as far as some more information on different testimonials. Again, we couldn't do it without you guys. On Patreon, we have a news series. This is all about becoming a energy healer, and in fact an evolutionary energy arts healer, as we're going through the beginning now of our own program, which is going to be a totally separate thing. And again, this was the very first video uploaded in that series, all about creating sacred space. So we have a gaping hole full of milky blue water appearing at Yellowstone. This is curious. Hydrothermal explosion probably formed this new feature. But, I mean, all eyes have been on Yellowstone. And also over in Alaska with the big 7.3. And over in Kamchatka, Russia with the big 7.4. Oh, this was the morning video over on Evolutionary. By the way, as you see, alert, great quakes, volcanoes, tsunamis. Is everything about to change over the next 5 months? This video took extra long to upload, and whenever we have that situation and it takes longer to process, they run an extra series of checks. They bury it because we're basically too close, right over the bullseye. And so do check that video out. RFK Jr. and other Trump officials embrace psychedelics after FDA setback. For decades, proponents of psychedelics have come to Washington with a provocative message, mind-altering substances. Now, you can't lump all these substances together. You know DMT is naturally produced by your body. It is. It's a natural product of your body. So, again, it's not the same as a lot of the big pharma products that are out there. Also, we have CBD receptors in our body. We're hardwired to actually accept and utilize CBD. Now, again, the system, it just seems like they've been against a lot of things that may really, really help us. And they've been for things, whether we're talking FDA and others, that I don't think help us at all, like fluoride in the water. Again, the bigger picture is coming out. And there's a lot of things to look at in here. There is also, and I said to Cindy, this sounds familiar, ibogaine, and she knows all about it.
Well, I know some because I've studied it. I try to understand to the best of my ability. PTSD, trauma, depression, it's something that I've dealt with all of my life with my abilities. It has not been easy. So I do look for different ways. That when I was seeing doctors, they tried everything to help me, and nothing helped me until I ran into a specific base plant medicine, actually a tea, that was able to help me. But I know that with everything that the doctors did with me, I need more help. So I am looking into this. I think it could help so many people who suffer from depression that is not treatable, trauma that's not responding to anything. I really feel that this should be pushed through because it could actually heal. It could actually heal the brain, and that's what we need. We need that brain functioning on all of its cylinders. Otherwise, this is your hormones. This is your entire body. Your brain and your stomach, between the two of them, they're creating all the hormones that speak to your mood and speak to how you feel, whether you're happy or sad or indifferent or flat. I mean, this is something that could actually heal people.
Yes, and again, we're not doctors. Absolutely not. We are just sharing our experiences with you guys. Marcus Capone struggled with anger, insomnia, mood swings after 13 years as a Navy SEAL. In 2017, after the urging of his wife Amber, he agreed to try ibogaine as a last resort. He described his first ibogaine session a complete purge of everything. But afterward, I felt the weight just completely off my shoulders. No more anxiety, no more depression. Life made sense all of a sudden. Yeah, it's fascinating to look at things like this, like CBD, like, again, what's in mushrooms. Mushrooms have been brought to this planet for a purpose. They are working in a symbiotic relationship with us in more ways than one. When I was sick with Lyme's, I was put on cordyceps, and it definitely boosted my immune system. It definitely did. There are other mushrooms that are really effective against cancer. There are other ones that have psilocybin in them that can literally rewire your brain and help to rewire your brain. There is a plant that's related to coffee, Kratom. It is amazing. Again, we are not advocating these things, but we're also, certainly not against the use in the right cases for the right people. Everybody has to do your own research. Do not trust anybody for anything. Do your own research. Dig deep. And again, just because, and I knew, like my surgeon that I talked to, I knew he knew I had a background in nutrition, so he was not like overstepping things in trying to give me recommendations as far as after surgery having a particular diet, because he knew where his expertise lied, and that was in surgery. And he was a great guy, a real great guy. Actually, I was really, really impressed that I think there's a lot of people in traditional allopathic medicine that are ready to make the change into expanding outwards and truly having a holistic system at our disposal, a truly holistic system that is not dependent on money that comes from some sources that wants to keep a certain type of outcome, because they're really, all about profits. I do think that most people in our allopathic medical system, I don't think that they are bad-hearted or anything like that. No, have they listened to only one side of the story? Some have, some haven't. But again, you have so many MDs right now that are out there doing wonderful things, urging the public to maybe try to fast, to maybe try to get more exercise, to walk, to change your lifestyle, and that's where it's at. We cannot have legalized bribery, which we do in the geopolitical system, and not expect that it's going to get corrupted, twisted, and distorted. When you legalize bribery, and it's all through the medical and even the dental industry. I was in the dental industry for a while as well, and boy, it was the same thing. It's again nothing but bribery out there to try our products, sell our thing. Oh, you're gonna get bonuses. How would you like a trip to here? Oh, Caribbean's nice. Yeah, hit this number and you're gonna get to the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. Oh man, this is what the system has done, and it's being exposed, and that is a good thing.
It is, and I think it's important that we keep exploring and we keep learning and we help each other up. We give each other, speak to what worked for you, what actually helped you. I think that's probably the safest thing that we could all do is say, hey, I've been through these situations and this is the particular thing that helped me. And helping people that way, because there's some things in plant medicine that can truly heal the brain. And could you imagine if the brain was actually healed? That would really put a ding in the big pharma, because the things that they use were only put into place after they stopped doing lobotomies. So then they start putting these other pills in place. So and they are not good for you, but they actually cause damage. That's from my own research, and it's just not good. So if we can find plant medicines that actually heal our mind, body, and soul so that we don't need anything, that's the goal. The goal is for us to be functioning independently on our own and be very, very strong. And we can do that. It's there. It is so close. So I'm pushing for all of these places that are doing these studies. I really hope they push them through quickly. People need help.
Alaska Airlines grounds all flights after IT outage disrupts system. Oh, wow. This was 3 hours on Sunday night. Passengers were shaken amid the ongoing travel chaos. An IT outage. You know, how much have we seen with the airline industry? It's just every single day. Please do send your prayers out for everybody involved in this, the family and the friends. This is in Bangladesh. There was a military fighter jet that crashed into a school building today. Multiple deaths reported. It's just a horrific event. It was a Chinese-built fighter jet. This, again, is Bangladesh that this happened. Just a horrible situation. But, you know, again, it's one plane, one thing with a plane after another. Meanwhile, Pepco restores service in DuPont Circle neighborhood for the third time. 28% of Pepco customers in the 20036 zip code were impacted. This is D.C. There's been strange outages in D.C. lately. There's a lot of technological glitches going on. Over here, global hack on Microsoft. Oh, wow. Hits U.S. state agencies, Microsoft product. Hackers exploited a major security flaw in widely used Microsoft server software to launch a global attack on government agencies and businesses in the past few days, breaching U.S. federal and state agencies, universities, energy companies, Asian telecommunications company, according to state officials and private researchers. This comes over here when we see Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, has confirmed that they're now looking into Microsoft engineers in China who have access to the Department of Defense systems. This comes after Chinese hacker Zhu Ziwei was arrested for stealing U.S. data on behalf of the CCP using Microsoft. Now, again, that's that Gil Bates guy originally with Microsoft. You see the connections, you know, and again, boy, does he resemble a Rockefeller, if you know what I mean. China, meanwhile, unveils a 373-mile-an-hour maglev train. This will be the world's fastest. Amazing technology. Magnetic levitation. Ultra quiet, efficient, and emits zero direct pollution. You know, I forgot to bring this up here, but there was also something about the shipping of lithium batteries that's being stopped on certain lines. I'll have to look into that again. As calls for Keir Starmer to vacate his post, again, just another puppet. That's all he is. You know, he's again, member of the few. Yeah, he has made a mess of things, but so did his predecessor and the predecessor before that and the one before that and the one. You get the picture. And wants to dim the sun. Well, so does the guy that's with that Microsoft founding company too. You know, again, involved in all these things. You cannot hide the scaly nature of some of these people or beings. Now we have 230,000 Martin Luther King assassination files, which are now available at archives.gov, MLK. So, you know, these were all just released, and, you know, I'm sure people are piling through them. We will see what's in there. You know, there's definitely a lot of people that didn't want that to come out. Fed Chair Powell criminally referred to the DOJ for perjury. Last week, President Trump kind of sort of denied reported plans to fire Fed Chair Jay Powell. We're not planning on doing it. I don't rule out anything, but I think it's highly unlikely unless he has to leave for fraud. And now, after that, the comments playing out as Representative Anna Paulina Luna refers Powell to the Department of Justice for criminal charges, accusing him of 2 specific instances of lying under oath. Yeah, again, he by his own rules should have lowered interest rates several times. And, it affected a ton of people that were trying to sell houses. It affected us, and it really made it tough, to get things done in this market. And, again, he is going to be replaced next year, at least, by next year. I think he's scheduled to be replaced in May of next year, if I remember right. But when you look at things, it's always about taking care of the current power structure and the banks, etc. NATO scrambles warplanes for the 13th time in weeks after the latest attack that happened between Ukraine and Russia. This was a pretty big one as well. The Polish psychic is seeing that we're still on a timeline that's going to lead to an expansion of hostilities. Again, we always put out our prayers and intentions that not come to pass, and I really think it has all to do with how many people you can wake up quick enough that society demands this stop. And you did have sources over in Europe saying that the public, admitting the public doesn't want it anymore. They're tired of it. They want it stopped. Well, again, the only thing that this system seems to understand is again, cash and money. And yet we have glitching going on. We have people that we're talking to every day that are talking about glitches with technology, having malfunctioning phones, not being able to even send payments and stuff. This is happening more and more. I think it's all in line with events that very likely will peak, probably in my mind, September, October, more likely October, some sort of October surprise, maybe a replay of Black Friday, maybe, hopefully it's nothing that big. But I think, again, the changing of the monetary system is inevitable. And at the same time, I think it's usually take more time than we anticipate.
Yeah, I think they do. Some people think, oh, gosh, they make it sound like the world is just going to blow up or burn up tomorrow. But that's not the case. This is just done very slow. It's very methodical. It may or may not affect you today, tomorrow, next week. But we try to position ourselves so that it simply does not affect us. So we do the research and we figure out where we need to have our feet placed to stay stable.
U.S. has launched over 50 airstrikes in Somalia this year. You don't hear anything about it. Yeah, this is exactly the type of thing that goes on constantly. And we don't hear about it because they don't want to really cover it. And, again, I go back to 2017 when statistically we were in like 95% of the countries in the world militarily. Again, U.S. has been used as the police force of the system. UK discloses secret settlement plan for thousands of Afghans that worked with the British forces. So, again, there's so much that goes on in these forever wars, in which it creates animosity, it creates a cycle of death and destruction. It creates, again, displacement that goes back to literally kings in Acadia, in Sumeria, using as a military tactic displacement of people that they conquered. They would conquer, push out the indigenous population, and then transplant and mingle in new ones. This is what's going on to this day through the UN. It absolutely is, and yet here you have the UK government taking people in and, again, helping them with housing and the like, when you, again, have people that have been citizens their entire lives feeling like they're getting the short end of the stick. Same thing in the US. It's same thing globally. It's a global thing.
I thought this was kind of creepy. Zuckerberg is expanding his secretive Hawaiian compound, and it's going to be over a burial ground. That really hit me. That hit me in a place that I just don't think that's number one. It's disrespectful. Number two, sometimes spirits push back and it's not pretty. So we'll have to see what goes on. I mean, he seems totally fine with it. Doesn't bother him one bit. But yeah, what about the land? What about the people? What about the souls? It's just something's not right.
Yes, absolutely. And, again, he owns so much land in Hawaii. It's just, it's just kind of ridiculous. It might sound like you're a communist if you say that, an individual shouldn't have control of so much resources, but it's not the way it is in the higher densities. You just would not hoard that much. It's just, yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be on the higher densities if you had that type of mindset. So this is part of the reality. Like fifth density is not based this way. And again, the sharing would be done automatically because it's just the right thing to do. You don't, squish underfoot so many to raise yourself up higher. That's just not a high frequency thing.
No, it's not. And you you have to be of a certain frequency to even be there. And this guy, he's at a frequency where he has to take care of himself and he has to do whatever he wants and what he needs. And it's just, it's a bit much sometimes.
Yes, and they are absolutely building up an awful lot of negative karma that will probably take so many lives to, unbury themselves. When you take embodiment, that's the thing. Karma is the currency. It is the currency of embodiment. So here you go. Just amazing. The Decadence, 11,152 square foot home, which is 10 times larger than the average home in Hawaii. And again, so many acres, 2,300 acres, one of the largest landowners in Hawaii. How about the whole concept of owning land? Again, we understand we're part of a oneness of things. So I really don't see in the higher densities, even the concept of owning, land. It's just not there.
No, it's a whole different world understanding.
Yeah, so everything that we've been brought up with is lower vibrational frequency, beliefs and structures when you look at it. And goals. They want to sell you on the lower frequency goals because they want to turn you into another entity just like them. This guy sees the picture clearly.
He's a cutie pants.
As always, guys, we thank you for your support. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.